What's going on? Y'all already know what's up. Today's the second episode of the PootieTim show, and I'm out here with another special guest. I want her to introduce herself because that's the best way that y'all gonna get to know her. You feel me? Just introduce yourself. What's your name and all that? You feel me?
Okay. My name's Kandaci. I live in Brooklyn right now. I grew up in Jersey, but I was born in New York. I went to school at Penn State. Um,
Right.
Funny story is I technically didn't graduate. I
Hold
took
up. You you didn't graduate Penn State.
no, I didn't. I didn't graduate. I took all the coursework and then I owed the money, so I never got a diploma.
Oh, okay. So then after that you went. Hold up. You came straight to New York after that.
hmm
Oh,
I was
damn.
honest. I was so close to graduating that I actually like walked, and I have pictures of my graduation. But I owe them money, so they never sent me a diploma. So technically, like if someone asked to see my diploma, I couldn't show them, even though technically I've
Oh, so you
finished.
did finish, but you
Yeah,
being that you owe them money. Oh, so hold up. Is it a lot of money?
it's enough money that I can't pay it
Oh,
right
all
now.
right, all right, all right. Bet.
I mean, Penn State's not a cheap school. I was paying out of state. That's easily like probably like $20,000. I owe them something like
Damn, yeah. Nah, I feel you. Nah, you good. Fuck that diploma. Just a piece
that,
of
right?
paper. Word, what you call that?
But while I was there, I
Yeah.
studied film. Um, I also took a lot of advertising courses, and my language was Japanese. Well, horrible idea, but
Nah, you get.
and then yeah. So right now I'm doing mostly production assistant work in like television and live events. Um,
Oh, okay, cool. So Penn State, straight out of high school, you went straight to Penn State though.
yeah, definitely.
Alright, and then with the whole film and all of that, like high school, you always even like in high school you was always working on like film stuff and all that, or
I started. I was about 13. There was a program at my church called Harambe M- MVP, Music Video Production Academy. And basically, they had brought in someone from CBS who wanted to basically like create a show using like kids from like an urban area, and
okay,
we would be producing our own content. And it really didn't last very long, and it's like in its format that it was, just because they didn't really have a lot of funding. But that's basically where I like got my taste for like the equipment and like just what it takes, what you have to do to make a film. Like
okay,
my first storyboard I wrote there, my first all that stuff. I did do some in high school too. I took a graphic communications class, and my final in that class was film. And then over the summers before I went to college, I would teach at the Music Video Production Academy, like editing softwares and that kind of thing.
oh okay, bet. So you know what I mean. So she making these films. You feel me? She making these films. Yeah, you got a Twitter and all that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm bugging. You do. The other day I noticed it was dope. You said you was tweeting. You tweeted that you was making Boys in the Hood too.
Did not tweet that for sure.
Nah. I'm playing. Yo, all my people out there that's from the hood and from the ghetto. Yo, Boys in the Hood too ain't coming out. She gave me the confirmation. You feel me?
I don't even feel like I would have the guts to pull off a boys in the hood. Like come out from the hood. Like what I'm gonna say.
Nah. What you call that? But yeah. Tell them where they can follow you on Twitter and all that.
You can follow me on Twitter at Daceship. It's DACESHIIP. That's my same for Twitter, for Snapchat. You can follow me on Vimeo. It's just my first name. If you look me up,
Okay.
that's the best place. YouTube is just my first name too. So
Right. I bet. So yeah, like what type of movies like are you into? Being that you did the film thing, you went to school. Like what type of movies like are you into? Like the category. Like what are you really into?
in terms of what I want to do documentary work, just
Okay.
because I feel like I've sort of like a I don't know if altruistic is the right word, but like I always feel like I want to make a difference kind of kid, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like that's like the
Yeah.
easiest way to be like, oh, I made something and it made a difference, especially if you have a documentary.
Okay.
So in college, I worked on. I know you heard about the Penn State scandal with
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
I worked on a
Yeah.
documentary
Yeah.
about Joe Paterno, which is the coach that got fired and then died right after he got fired. That
Okay.
coach. I worked on a documentary about him. I like did a couple of like documentary shorts, just for like my own private work. So that's the kind of thing I'm really interested in. But in terms of like what I watch, like
Yeah.
other people's
Yeah. Like
stuff,
what you watch,
I watch
like.
a lot of TV right now. I
Okay.
just watch a lot of current stuff. Like I don't have cable, so whatever's
Alright.
on HBO, that's
Okay.
pretty much what I'm
Bet.
watching. I like binge a lot of TV. So
I bet. And being in college and all of that, and like wanting to do the documentaries and stuff, like what else have you did like beyond that? Have you did any like working with like far as like damn like reality TV shows, or did any work or anything like that? Have you?
I worked on one reality TV show. That was my friend was working on it. It's pretty low budget piece. It's called In the Circle.
Okay.
And but reality TV show isn't like documentaries at all.
Right.
It's like, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's planned, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
and then the last reality TV show I worked on was a crime drama recreation show.
Okay.
So
I bet.
not really similar to documentary work at all. I mean, honestly, it's kind of silly that they call it like reality TV or but it's all scripted, just the same as like narrative. So I don't really see like what the differentiation is. But
Okay. Nah, that's what's up. And then, like, what are you working on now? Like, you know what I mean? Because the other day I had called you, whatever, and you was like, hey, yo, I'm on set. Yo, chill, you wildin'. You feel me? Like, I'm on set. Don't call me
yeah,
again.
I've just been I've been freelancing. Like I said, doing production assistant work. The last thing I was on was a crime drama recreation. It was a pilot for like Oxygen. And then
You told her Oxygen, the channel.
Oxygen Network, yeah, they were shooting a pilot.
Okay.
I don't know how much I want to talk about it, so I'll just like leave it there because I don't know. You know, people like get mad when you talk about the work before like it comes out or it's released because you know. And then my newest thing is I'm about to do my first live event production assistant work. I just got a call to do the Halo Awards, which is like where they recognize like charitable people. It's a BET, I think, right?
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I just caught something. You said like something about pilot. Like, explain for those who don't know. You feel me? Like,
A pilot is basically what is created by a show before they have a network and funding. So usually it's only like the first episode of a show. You see the title, it'll say pilot, and that just means like this was created before like the show got picked up. So like you make a pilot and you invest like your own money or whatever the company's money, and then you shop that pilot around to different networks so they can provide funding for the rest of the season.
I bet. So yeah, all the people out there who's in the film and all that, pay attention. You feel me? Yeah, definitely. So like, also like, what are your favorite movies though? And do you get any like ideas of your own to like want to make your own movie besides like I know you say you want to do documentaries and stuff, but like when you watch your favorite movies, do you ever feel like, yo, I want to create something just like that? Like what are your favorite movies or what like inspires you?
One of my favorite movies is Pan's Labyrinth. I don't know if you've seen that. Director's Del Toro. It's a Spanish language movie and it's like a high fantasy, and it's just like a really beautiful movie. And I feel like a lot of what I like about film is like aesthetics, like the strong aesthetic. I'm not like a great writer, so I think that's probably why like that's what I like to focus on is really more like the aesthetics of filmmaking. In terms of like contemporary stuff like that I really like recently, I really liked Dope, and I just like yeah, I don't know. I watch like 1,000 movies a day, so I wish like I had like notes in front of me to like in terms of like what I definitely like super like. I definitely like a lot of Hollywood blockbuster type movies. I like things with a lot of practical effects. So anything that has like a lot of effects work, I think is
Oh,
really
effects.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I bet,
you know,
bet.
like Hellboy kind of thing, where like
Okay,
they half
X-Men
of
and all.
like no X-Men's all CGI, but I mean like ones that have like so like in Hellboy like he's wearing a costume, right? And so
Okay,
someone like did that, and a lot of the effects are like not computer generated. Someone had to like make it happen.
okay.
Like how do you make like this person's head explode, but like not explode and without your computer, basically.
I bet. No. That's interesting. So you
Yeah.
said the X-Men. You curved me on the X-Men.
Yeah,
so
it's
so yeah,
CGI.
CGI.
Most of the X Men
So
most X Men
when
is
you say
CGI.
CGI, you feel me? You talking about like
Computer
computer?
generated
Okay,
images.
bet. To where it's like, yo, click it here, kind of just like a.
I mean, it's not that CGI isn't like great because I mean, like you know, Avatar. Did you see that
Ye-
movie? That's pretty much like CGI at its like
Okay.
peak in terms of like what you can do with it. But I like really appreciate like the effort it takes to
Okay.
make practical effects
All right.
and like the behind the scenes work of that stuff is super interesting to me. So I guess in that vein, I also kind of like horror movies because they do a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
practical effects in horror movies too.
Okay. So what did do you have a specific horror movie you like? Like, yo, this is the craziest. Like this horror movie right here gets to me.
The one that I saw most recently that I really liked was Babadook. Have you heard of that
But
one?
damn, yeah, it's a recent joint.
Yeah, it's
It's a
pretty
recent,
recent.
yeah. Well, not that crazy
It's not
recent,
that
but
recent actually,
yeah,
but
but I get what you're saying. Yeah, like I don't know, I don't like me. I don't really like horror movies. I ain't going front. Like it just get me. You feel me? I'm more of a
I'm total wuss. Like I will close my eyes and like grab your hand and like scream the entire time, and then as soon as the credits roll, I'm like, that wasn't that scary.
yeah.
I'll front. I'm
nah.
not gonna lie,
What
but
you call that? Like, cause me, I'm more of a like I like comedy and like I said, like the X-Men joint. Like I want to be when I'm at the movie theaters, I want to be like entertained. Like my brain is on stupid mode, so it's like, yo, just give me mad special effects and like laugh, like comedy jokes. You feel me? But when it comes to scary movies, I ain't going front. The joint with the not the Conjuring, the Annabelle joint.
I didn't see that one, but I've seen like half of that one. It's the one with the weird doll, right?
Yeah, alright, so
Is
the
that
end
scary?
yo, alright, look. I look look, I was in Texas, right? I was in Texas, boom. It was me and my girl over there. We was in Texas chilling. So the joint when I say that movie theater was packed, it was crazy. So yo, it was a scene where um I forget who was standing. It was either the lady or a little girl or a little boy just standing like they was just regular, like all the stuff was happening to them. I think it was the lady or whatever. So on the other side, she was standing in one room where it was the door. The little girl, who used to own a doll or whatever like that was standing at the other room across. So I'm on my like when I watch movies, I'll be like, yo, here go the Hollywood line, here go the what I'm saying, the
Yeah,
corny shit.
yeah.
So I was
Like,
expecting.
don't go in there. You're not stupid. Like,
Yeah,
don't do
you
that.
feel me? So
Yeah.
I'm like, alright, they about to enter something corny. So I'm like, alright, but I'm still on my like, yo, brace yourself, my nigga. You don't know what's good. You don't know what's about to happen. So the little girl, the scary looking little girl, starts running. So I'm like, alright. All of a sudden, like, shorty bust, like the little girl bust in the door, like hit the door, and she turned into like a scary grown woman. Yo, I was the only one who screamed. I was the only one who screamed in the movie theater. I was like, oh, everybody was like, yo,
I
I was
mean,
the
honestly, you
only.
shouldn't be ashamed of that. If anything, like that's exactly what they want to happen.
Yeah.
All that means that they've done a good job and that you can appreciate that medium.
Yeah.
Because exactly the same. Like I will admit, I'm the first person to like, you know those like cheesy jump scares, like it's just a bird fluttering past the window.
Yeah.
I will jump.
Nah,
Like you can
see?
get me off anything. Like
See that's what I'm saying. When they call me with that, yo, shout out to y'all stink niggas for scaring me with that one. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. What you call that? But yeah, like
in terms of like what genres I appreciate, I feel like if as long as it's well written, I kind of appreciate that. I appreciate like aesthetics and then like practical effects. I just appreciate like something that looks like if you put work in. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Anything
Yeah.
that looks like it took a lot of effort, like I always appreciate.
Oh,
So I don't think I have like a genre like above all the others. I don't feel like I watch a lot of rom coms just because I feel like they're like kind of predictable and like visually they're usually not like stunning, you know. Like
Yeah.
there was nothing stunning about the proposal, like
Right.
visually. So I'm just like, all right.
Right.
So that's maybe the genre I don't like delve into the most. But if there was like a great written rom com that was like had some like great DP or the director of photography, cinematographer, who
Right.
like made it look beautiful, then I'd watch that too. So I don't think I have like any biases towards genres or anything like that.
Okay. Nah, and that's crazy that you say like you really like open, you know, which is supposed to like happen, being that you in the film and you supposed to be open minded to things and you appreciate it as long as there's like work and effort being put into it. But are you like, being that you in film as well, like what are like the pros and cons? Because I look at it like when you're into film or something, or you're an author or some way, shape, or form, and that type of thing, I feel like you're a hard critic on movies. So does that spoil it for you? Like, yo, this is whack. This is whack. Like, this is whack.
I
Why do they
definitely
do
know a
this?
lot of
So,
people. I mean, I live with, I have 4 roommates, and all of them are Penn State grads.
okay, yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
that are in the film industry also, like doing similar work to I
Yeah.
am.
Yo, you see Penn State got some good stuff besides that scandal. Yo, shout out to Penn State out there, you
Right?
feel me?
Thank
Shout out to Penn
you.
State. It's all good. It's all good.
um, yeah. So I definitely know like a lot of people who do take a sharper eye, which I think is like important. Oh, okay.
Alright.
1 second.
Yeah. Go get that Chinese food, you feel me? Go get that Chinese.
Okay.
Word. Yeah. She went to go get some grub real quick, you feel me? It's all good. Now, I mean, when she come back, she gonna have the answers and all that, you know. But yeah, yo, like, nah, I mean, I can't front, yo. This podcast joint is fire, yo. I wanna thank everybody out there, you know, who been supporting, who been sharing my podcast and, you know, giving me feedback and all of that. You know, I really appreciate that. And if you are an artist out there, or if you know just want to hop on the show, come holla at me and talk about some things, then you know we make it happen. You feel me? You know what I mean? But I would just want to thank everybody for supporting what I'm doing
Alright, the
and
party's
all that.
back.
Alright, bet. So yeah. Enough of the slight commercial break. She got the Chinese food. We all good. You feel me?
What was it talking about?
Yeah. We was talking about being a hard, like, a critic,
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah. So I
yeah.
definitely feel like there's a lot of people who do take it a lot more seriously, just because they are film critics. But I also feel like when I watch a movie, I think about who it was made for, like who's the intended audience, and that's always something that's important to look at, because like maybe you don't like it because it's not for you,
Okay.
you know. So if it, like you're watching something and you're like, well, this is for like 15-year-old girls, and that's not me. Maybe that's why I find it cheesy. But if I put myself in like the mindset of like 10-year ago me, like how would I feel about this? And that maybe it's doing its job. Maybe it's not for me, but maybe
Okay.
it's still doing its job.
Yeah.
So you can like be critical in a way that's still like not like a jerk, you know. You can be critical in a way that's smart and like takes into account like other perspectives, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
There's definitely not like one right way to do anything.
Right. And when you was doing films, besides having the opportunity to be a part of something, have you ever like been at the job or doing your stuff and you be like, hey, yo, this film is doo-doo?
Yes. That's totally exactly happened. I will not name names because that's mad rude, but I remember at one time like, I read the script and that I was working on, and I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. And honestly, that's just like what you have to do for the check. And you know, speaking about like what you do for the check, like what I'm doing right now versus like the stuff I want to make for myself, they're like two different things. And really, like what you have to do, like I feel like with any art form, is like find a balance where like how are you making money and like how are you like fulfilling yourself,
Right.
you know? So
Yeah. Nah, that's crazy, because it's like, that's what I be thinking, because I'm like, yo, every artist gotta feel that way about what they doing, like, just because it's an opportunity, or yo, I'm working with this person, or this is the movie I'm working on. It's like, nah, that joint is trash.
and
You
the thing
feel
is,
me?
like that was like the that project had like the most top bill actress I ever worked with. So it's like ironic that like even like you get these people that are like sort of famous and like your
Yeah.
project still might not be that great, but then so that just shows you like there's opportunities like everywhere,
Okay.
you know.
And then what is it to you that makes, like we're gonna take away like the special effects and all that, just like a movie and like in general. My fault for the retardedness. I was stuttering.
Don't use the R word.
But for real.
Yeah, don't use that word.
Why?
It's not appropriate.
Oh, yeah, my fault for using the R word, y'all. My fault. Yo, you can't be telling me what to do on my show, yo. You wildin'.
Just say what
You
gonna do.
wildin'. You wildin'. Yo, you wildin'. Yo, she get an award. Nah, I mean, the first person to tell me what to do on my show. This is only the second episode. Yo, you wildin'. Nah, but alright. So, yeah, like, what is it that, makes the film, like, whack to you? Like is it the actors? Like forget the special effects and all of that, but like does the like to you like yo, this actor is horrible, or like or is it the storyline?
I feel like it always starts with the writing. I feel like if I've ever worked on a bad project, it was bad from the writing. I mean, obviously you can hire an actor who isn't that good, but there's always places to save yourself. So like if you like wrote something good but the acting is not great but it's shot really well, maybe it could work. Or if you wrote something good and it's not shot that well, but you have a great editor, like it could still work. They could fix it. You know what I mean? So there's always like ways to catch yourself because there's just so many people involved. But I feel like the writing is the one place that like you really cannot fix that.
Okay.
You know,
unless you really go back and be like, yo, we gotta write this over.
Yeah, obviously there's new writing, but in terms of like the whole process of filmmaking, like there's if it's a bad script, like the project, you can have as many famous people working on the project as you want. It's just not a good movie, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I think personally, at least.
Now I feel you, cause my thing is like you said with the writing. My thing is like what get me tight about certain movies. I could be watching a fire movie, but it's like you could tell those Hollywood lines is like mad.
That
dramatic.
one line that you're just like no one would say that.
Yeah, to where it's like, why do like. Is that like is that a requirement for these like predictable like corny lines to be in there? Like why do they do that?
The reason
like, why?
is because people
who gets motivated? My fault for cutting you off. That drink got me tight. Like who get like it really gets me heated.
You have to think
like,
about it like who's person paying for the film and what sells. So you're going to see the movie, right? And so the person who ponied up the cash, basically you're making an investment. And so if like you see this is what works, then you're going to keep doing what works because that's going to keep making you money. Like, why does Adam Sandler keep making movies? Like, because people still see them. Not because he gets rave reviews. Right. Do you know what I mean? Because he's making money. So I feel like... So
what you saying? You don't really like Adam Sandler movies?
I don't like any recent Adam Sandler movies. You saw like the last one where he pretended to be his own sister? Like, that's mad whack.
Which you're not.
It's called Jack and Jill, and he just that some Eddie Murphy type thing where he plays
yeah, chill. All right, I feel you. What about the cobbler joint when he was the shoe joint? Did you see that?
No, I didn't. It looked mad stupid.
Nah, that joint was alright. I
just feel like he can get away making bad movies because he has a name and has a formula that works for him. You know, like these are my friends that are coming to make a movie with me, and like I can spend X amount of dollars, make X amount of money back. I think I was reading an article that said like he gets so much money in product placement for his movies that even if they tank, he still makes a profit.
Yo, shout out to Adam Sandler for killing the game out there. Word.
So at the end of the day, like it's about who's paying for the movies, and so if you control the money, you control the product in that way. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why like the independent world and like Hollywood are just like two different places. It's about like where the money. You can all trace it back to where the money is, I think.
Okay. And like, do you think is like, have you made your own? I know you made your own projects. I seen a couple joints and all of that, but like, are they all necessarily like, as far as trying to find people, like, were they all your friends and it was like, yo, this is easy, let me just get my friends and that's it? Or did you really like look for people with a certain type of characteristics and all that?
I haven't. I did one narrative short that I actually held auditions for. The two people that I cast, I cast three people. One of them was a friend. Mm-hmm. One of them was a community theater actor, and one of them was in school for acting. So, and then my documentary short, I put out like a casting call, I guess you can call it. You just put up like signs like, does this represent you? Have you seen like those true life casting calls?
Yeah.
That's something like sort of like that. It did end up being a lot of people that I knew just because that's kind of how you have to do it. Like, I mean,
Right.
who else is going to just show up for you? You're not paying people at this point. Like, I couldn't afford to pay anyone.
Okay.
So I'll give you some lunch. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's a fact. I feel you.
so, in terms of like who you end up working with, the industry is all about who you know because you do end up working with your friends.
Okay.
Because it's such a like, it's the normal like set day is a 12-hour day. So if you can like imagine spending that time with people like you don't like, or would you rather spend time with people that you do like?
Yeah, that's
You
a
know.
fact. Yeah.
And so obviously also they have to be good at their job. But I just feel like when you find a couple people that are good at their jobs and you like to be around, you keep doing that.
Yeah.
And so either maybe they were your friends already, maybe you became friends because you keep working together. But that's kind of how people like make those connections and get the work. It's just because people like want to be around that person. You have to want to be around someone, which is like sort of weird about like the politics of film, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like it's such a more social thing. I think that people kind of understand.
Okay.
Because I mean, I'm only a production assistant, and this is pretty much like entry level position on a
Okay.
set. So not that anyone could do my job, but there's a lot of people who could probably like grab coffee. You know what I mean? Like
I bet.
a lot of people can do something like that. And so it's just like, what are you bringing to the table that no one else is? Maybe like you're going the extra mile to be helpful. Maybe you tell a good joke. You know, like there's
Alright,
like
cool.
there's other ways around it. But
I bet. So that's what you do. Like, so when you at the set, like, what is it they have you doing at the set? Like, when you
it
at
just depends on depends mostly on the size of the shoot. If this crew is really big and I'm a PA, then I'm probably just like setting up crafty, unloading, reloading equipment,
Okay.
that kind of thing. Like I'm just a set of hands, sort of. If the set is smaller, then I just have a more active role. Maybe like I'm assisting the camera department and like setting up, or maybe I'm like, I don't know, assisting the producer with like keeping on schedule, that kind of thing. It just depends on the size of the set, really.
Okay, bet. Alright, so here's the funny part. Like, you ever, with any of your gigs you had, was there like ever like an embarrassing moment you witnessed, whether it was like with yourself, like, yo, this producer came at me, or you seen somebody else?
course.
Yeah, come on, you gotta give me one. What was one where it was like,
This is the worst moment of my entire life on set.
and
I
this is
literally,
happening to you?
yeah, it happened to me. It's so bad. I don't even want to talk about it.
Nah,
All
you
right,
gotta
that's
talk about he
fine.
threw a donut at you.
No. So I was on a set and I ended up like legitimately peeing on myself because they wouldn't let me leave because the set was locked down because they were filming. And we were filming in a garage, and the closest bathroom was like 3 blocks away in this one building that we had access to. And I just remember like being like, I have to fucking go. And like being like, oh my God, like, and honestly, this is like one of my first like big gigs. And so I was like not comfortable talking to the person that I needed to talk to be able to leave. Because she was pretty high up. Because I had to be like, can you stop filming so I can go to the bathroom? That sounds mad stupid, right?
Yeah, like, she gonna look like, yo,
And
who
that
are
was just
you?
like the worst night. And like it was an overnight shoot, so like we were there for like hours into like the morning, and it was just like the weirdest thing. And then obviously like it was a multiple day shoot, so I came back the next day and I was just like, oh my fucking God, like I bet like at least 3 people know what happened and how I was just sitting in the corner like,
Yeah,
like,
just man. Yeah,
it was so gross and sad, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So maybe if I had a piece of advice, it's like
Make sure you go to the bathroom first. Man.
yeah,
Like,
that
don't drink,
too.
don't drink
But
nothing.
also like I feel like there's a sense of hierarchy on the set that's sort of like in a sense like kind of unnecessary. In that like yes, people might like act like they're like high and hoity, like they're like above you, so you can't talk to them. But if you need to, like, do it. Like there's nothing wrong with like maybe if you like you have to do something for the director and like you're not sure, like just ask them. Don't feel like you have to ask the 3 people around him first because you don't feel like you can talk to this person. Like if you're on set, you're supposed to be there to help, and so if you feel like that's like what you need to do, then just do it.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like relevant to anyone else.
Yeah,
but.
yeah. No. That's good advice. You feel me? Like I said, yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't even know you was going through that.
It happened once. Never happened again. I've handled it since.
Yeah, I didn't even know it could get that real like that. Nah, yo. Listen,
And
man.
also to any ADs or location scouts, please always have a bathroom at your shooting location. because shit like that can happen.
Yeah, yo, put them in check. Put them ADs in check, man. Put them ADs in check, yo. You feel me? So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, being that you like you said, you like the Hellboy situation and more of the effects and all of that, you know, as far as how the way they do their effects. If you was a superhero, what would you be like? Like, what would, like, yeah, like what would your costume be like? What type of person you would be? Like,
I
with
feel like
special
I would
powers,
wanna
all that.
I know it's probably a little complicated, but I definitely think I'd want to have the power to time travel. So I feel like I'm the sort of person who always is like, "Fuck, why didn't I do that?" Or "Fuck, why did I do that?"
Yeah.
You like, I'm like, I'm like the kind of
yeah.
person like it's like 3 a.m. I'm just like thinking of that one time in 5th grade. I'm like, "Oh my god, why did I say that?"
Your life could be mad different right now.
Yeah, I know that's kind of like silly because that's not like I'm doing a horrible where I am, but maybe that's I feel like it's something that I definitely want to be able to do. It's just not even if I could like go change, maybe just go like give my past self some like pointers, some advice, you know. But yeah, I have a lot of younger siblings, so maybe I like live vicariously through them and try to like give them the wisdom that I didn't get, you know.
What would your costume look like? What would your costume look like?
I actually was in a play when I was in middle school, and I had played a character who was super fast. His name was Triple Time. The character was technically supposed to be for a boy, but I auditioned anyway because there was no reason not to. And I wore like all black, and then I had like a big clock in the center and like a lot like big watches that were like orange, and then like I had like flames coming from my legs. So that was pretty cool. Another Triple Time costume could be.
So you had 2 Rolexes on with a Flavor Flav clock on, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
What'd you call that? So now, what'd you call that? Yeah, so
In reality, my costume probably would be just like a flannel and like some jeans, some Jessica Jones style, like.
Yo, my fault for that last corny joke. I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. Yo, so you said you pretty much watch HBO or whatever. You being that you busy anyway, you ain't really got cable and all of that.
Yeah,
but,
I have pretty much every like service though. Like between all of us, we have Hulu, HBO, so
right?
Whatever is like around, we definitely like
get on.
If it gets enough talk, we watch it.
Okay, and like, what do you watch YouTube or do you be on YouTube and all that? Like besides just like looking for like pointers or tips or anything, you be on YouTube watching like random videos and all that.
I watch a lot of gaming videos, which is weird because I don't really play a lot of video games.
Yeah.
But it's like a thing where you can maybe live vicariously through someone a little bit because I'm not great at video games, but they're super interesting to me. I think like in terms of like the writing, a lot of the writing in video games is like super good because like basically like this is kind of similar to film in that way.
Okay.
And also they've had like such a long time to like hone the story that it kind of seems more precise than sometimes film can seem. I follow a lot of beauty blogs because I got that black hair. You know what I mean?
Word.
Who else do I follow? I also follow like the basics. BuzzFeed. I'm not embarrassed to say it. I watch BuzzFeed videos.
Oh nah, you good. You good. Nah,
I watch a lot of food stuff too.
Oh, alright, get your cooking up. Alright, bet. Like, what'd you call that? How do you feel being being a filmmaker? Like, you went to school for it. You know what I'm saying? My fault. You paid the money for it. You got money. Yeah, you got money to pay back if whatever. But how do you feel about like YouTubers living off their videos, especially if they didn't even like go to school for it or whatever? How do you feel about that?
I don't feel like it's completely necessary to go to school for everyone. I think that the reason why I went to school is mostly for the network. Like pretty much every show that I've worked on has been because someone recommended me. I've never like cold applied for a job and just gotten like that. Aside from like internships when I was in school and stuff, like in terms of working in the city, every time I've gotten somewhere it's because I knew someone.
Right.
And that's really like the network is what you're getting when you go to college, I think, especially for film, because you can always teach yourself a lot of for any trade, you can always teach yourself. Like there's always like enough books, enough like tutorials somewhere to teach yourself. And also that goes back to just like appreciating the medium for what it is, because like I know I couldn't do that what they do in terms of like being fully comfortable sitting and talking in front of a camera and like not being weird. and
Okay.
like
Yeah, I feel I get what you're
interacting with
saying.
strangers on the internet in a genuine way. Like I know I couldn't do that, so I don't feel like there's any sort of direct competition, especially because at the end of the day, like you end up working with all these people. Like one of my roommates is editing for a YouTuber.
Oh, okay.
So it's like not like I don't think it's any sort of like competition. It's not like an exclusive like world. Like if they need someone to pick up the camera, they might call someone who's been to film school.
Okay.
You know.
So you don't think it? Yeah, like you said, it don't take away nothing from people who do film, and also.
I mean,
You don't
I'd highly doubt it that every single person on YouTube hasn't had any formal training. I think more people have than probably haven't.
Right.
You know, I mean, obviously, if you're just a vlog channel and you just sit and talk to a screen, maybe you probably haven't had any.
Yeah.
But if you're doing like short films, like YouTube Red, I have people that worked on that obviously have some professional experience.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah, so you don't think it's like unfair or anything, like, you know what I mean, being that how the way like they're actually making like bread off of it, so it's like, yo, they bought a car, they bought a house, like, you feel me, like it's unfair, or you think it's just a good platform
I don't
overall?
think it's unfair because I feel like if I wanted it, I would do it. You know?
Okay, it's something you could just grab up and do.
Yeah, I feel like anyone could obviously, but not anyone could be successful, but anyone could try.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Which is something that I appreciate because, like I said earlier, like one of the hard things about being a filmmaker is finding the balance between fulfilling your passion and making money because they're very rarely are they the same thing, especially in this field, especially when you first start out. So I can fully appreciate someone who's kind of like being like, okay, well, fuck making the money, I'm gonna fulfill my passion, and if that ends up making you money, like more power to you.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna fault anybody for that.
And then like how do you feel about like the people who get those like get famous off the viral videos?
That pisses me off.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what makes me mad is when like people go on Ellen DeGeneres and get like a full ride through college off getting a picture taken of them in Target. That kind of stuff that I don't like. But I mean, the world is crazy and crazier things have happened. Like people win the lottery every day. And there's like it's obviously not me, so I can be as bitter as I want to be. But like, what's the point? I don't know.
Nah, I feel you, and like, but the thing you say that, like, I understand it may get you mad. It's just, but you realize like, the past people who had like viral videos, they like that longevity.
There's no longevity in it, but honestly, you didn't put in any effort anyway. So like, what is the longevity? Like, you don't need the longevity. You just need the 15 minutes to make some money.
Right.
It's both like the guy who the house invader guy, like hide your kids, hide your wife. Remember that guy? I think his name's Antoine. Do you know?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's like my core
yeah.
example. Like when that song came out, who was he? Nobody.
Right.
He got money when they sold the song that they made. They sold it on iTunes. They had shirts. He did television appearances. Like off of what? Like, you know what I mean? Like I've been interviewed plenty of times. Like some songify me,
Yeah.
And just recently with the Kenneth Bone guy, who was at the presidential debates that came recently. I think he like asked one of the last questions and like.
Yeah, pause for his last name. But go ahead though. Nah, I said pause. That was crazy. Kenneth Bone, that's homo. But go ahead. Yeah, go
Ken Bone.
Yeah.
That's his real name though.
Chill.
And he like kind of just became like a viral sensation, and people like were just made a meme out of him on Twitter like real fast. I just saw him on the news the other day off of it, and he seems like a really nice guy. So it's amazing at the power of the internet to make celebrities out of nobody. Like it's sort of amazing. I appreciate it. I mean, I can appreciate the laugh. And I don't think anyone's expecting that he's gonna like make a lifelong career out of this. But I mean, if anyone can get successful for being themselves, then like that's good too. There's hope in the world for that, I think.
Yeah. And what you think like the film industry is missing, whether it be film, like actual movies or regular TV? Like what do you think is missing? Like
so my boyfriend and I, my boyfriend's white, and we sort of like argued about last Oscar season about the Oscar so white thing. And one thing he just brought to my attention is that like a lot of people making these decisions are old. And so
they not
when
really in touch with.
Yeah, so when like you see the decisions that they're making and like why they pick what they pick, it's because of what they know and like how they are. Like, you know what I mean? Like not to like beat a dead horse, but like you say like you can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's not like I don't feel like it's an intentional like slight against diversity or anything like that, but I just do feel like there's definitely like some things that they like and don't like, and things they understand and don't understand, and connect with and don't connect with. And so if I would say anything, I would just encourage more young people to make what they can, what they want to while they can. I think the resources are always there, especially when you're younger. People are more willing to give you things
Yeah.
because they're impressed by your gumption. And so if like I could just like whisper into like past me and be like, okay, there was a whole summer where you had access to all the equipment. Like, why didn't you make something? You know what I mean?
Right.
And just because you kind of feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I can't. But then you don't know what you're doing, and then you do it, and then you do know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing that's missing is just like the push for younger people to make quality things.
Okay. So you think they just leaving it, as far as decision making with awards and all that, they just leaving those older people there to keep,
and let them keep making the decisions. Obviously they've earned to be where they are.
Yeah.
Like they're respected in their field and in their community, but it would just be like, I guess it's easier to be judged by your peers in that way. And so if you could just keep encouraging younger people to keep making good content. I don't know. If you could just keep encouraging them to make good content, then at the end of the day, like they have just such a larger pool of things to choose from, and more diverse things to choose from.
Oh, why? Cause cause the reason why I would say that is cause like I be feeling like it ain't no more like good shows like how the way it used to be, where it's like you watching Martin. You know what I'm saying? Like
television is way different though. I mean, the sitcom format is dying. I mean, that's like obvious. Like no one wants to watch a one set, like one liner, like audience. Like no one wants to watch that. Example I would say is like Queen Bee. Have you seen that?
Nah. I haven't seen that.
Ava DuVernay, I think her last name is. Sorry if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
She's the director of that. It's on OWN Network, and it's basically like OWN Network, a full mostly black cast.
And my mom's be watching that joint actually. See, that's
and all of the production team is women.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. And so it just goes to show like when you produce your own content, you have the creative controls. Like I said, basically like where the money is coming from. Like Oprah has the money,
right.
So obviously she has the ability to create a show where like she can focus on having black women because they look like her. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just feel like I said, it all goes back to the money, and also I feel like people's taste in TV has changed. Like, you think about what people watch, like the most popular show was like The Walking Dead, like, and the amount of like effort that show takes. You know, the amount of extras, the amount of makeup, the amount of hours, the choreography. Like people don't just want the same like. No one wants to watch Big Bang Theory. Like I just personally like I hate that show so much. It's so lame.
Nah, I never really. I don't know. I don't really like stuff like that anyway. That's like Walking Dead. You gotta be overloaded with zombie extras. And all
like
that.
mad people, and so many people like work on something like that. And I think that's what's great about it is that it just gives so many more people opportunities, because the bigger the production is, the more people watch it, the more hands they need. More people that can just benefit from that production being as successful as it is.
You think somebody I know anything is possible, but like you think somebody could be a star or for being a zombie,
that was the best zombie.
Yeah, like, how do you judge that?
It was a hot
like,
girl who had her tits out or something.
You think so? Not like so. Because I think that's the easy way, but like a dude the way he killed you, you looked believable. Like,
because I don't think so. There's so many of them. Like it's just I feel like it'd be hard to differentiate. There's probably 10 people die an episode. Like how do you differentiate?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wonder if somebody got that type of eye. Like,
there probably is some sort of list of favorite deaths or something like that on the internet somewhere. But.
Word, damn, now you got me. I'm about to look that up when I but so you think being how the way everything is being on social media and just on the internet, and you think TV is about to be gone? Like you think it'll eventually
I don't
get
think
there?
TV is gonna be gone. I think TV is just getting better. I just feel like people's standards of what they will watch is just higher than it was. Just as I don't know, maybe it's just because the technology is better, or maybe it's just because there's more people doing it. So the more people that make content, the better that content will get, because there's just more of it to push itself up, you know,
Okay.
kind of thing. Like I saw this movie on Netflix. Someone shot on an iPhone. A full movie on Netflix that someone shot with their iPhone. So it just means like the access is just so much greater. And sort of like that hierarchy I was talking about earlier, sort of like breaking down a little bit in that way, just because so many more people have access to make great stuff. And I feel like everyone's taste and everything changed. Like you wouldn't want a flip phone.
Yeah.
Why would you write? Why would you watch a movie? Why would you watch a one set like laugh track when you could watch people get cleaved in half? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, I feel you. I ain't gonna hold you though. Like you brought up flip phones. Like,
You got a flip phone?
Nah. I was thinking about getting one. I was OD broke, and I'm like, yo, this bill is killing me. So like that serious. Like,
all right, well, you can still watch Martin reruns too. So
yeah,
what's your flip phone?
Word, but nah, what you call it? That's
You can appreciate these things as like obviously as the time they are, but I just think in general like everyone's tastes are always improving and they expect more.
yeah. Oh yeah, bringing that you brought a mom, yo, R.I.P. Tommy.
Right?
Yeah.
He was so young, 52. That's crazy.
Yeah, R.I.P. Tommy.
Yo, my dad's that age. I'd be so sad. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Yo, make sure you out there taking care of yourself.
Seriously.
Man. Like, making sure you out there taking care of yourself. That's bugged out though.
52. That's crazy.
Yeah, it be like that sometimes. But yeah, I didn't mean to say it like that. Word though. Like, could you ever catch yourself like, how do you feel about, because everybody is into this whole reality TV show, like as far as you already know, like the Black Ink, the Love and Hip Hop and all that. How do
Honestly,
you feel
I
about?
don't watch a lot of it.
Oh, you don't watch a lot of
because
it?
like I said, I appreciate aesthetics and effort, and I just feel like there's more aesthetics and effort in someone like taking 3 hours to do zombie makeup than there is for someone to like
sit there and set up an argument.
Yeah, but not to say that it isn't like. I just also feel like it's sort of exploitive.
Okay.
I know like basically a lot of what happens in those shows really is based on their real lives.
Yeah.
But they do sort of orchestrate the issues.
Right.
So like, you told me you had beef with this person. I'm gonna make sure that at this place you're at. Like they kind of set up the situations to the boiling point. I don't understand. Like, I know I watched a lot of Teen Mom, and at one point they did this sort of like thing where they were talking to the producers about the producers' relationship with the girls.
Yeah.
And how the girls felt like the producers were like very close with them and like they could tell them anything and they were kind of like their best friends. And I feel like that's like such a weird place to find yourself, like fully profiting off someone else's drama and also being a confidant for them. Like, I don't know. Reality TV is weird. I fully understand it. Another show that I was a little familiar with is that show Hoarders. You know that show?
Oh, okay, yeah, where everybody just wild and collecting mad stuff or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and like after this crew leaves, the house is back to how it was a week later. You know?
Yeah, pretty much like the situation with like Pimp My Ride. Like how the way I was reading up how they'll come in and work on a car, but then they'll need all the stuff back, or they take out one part of the car or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, like somebody was saying, like somebody from the show was saying
I
how the way
believe
they
that
asked.
though, and I feel like that's what reality TV. I just have like moral issues with a lot of what happens in reality TV. Not that like, obviously I work in reality a lot too, so I feel like maybe I don't have space to talk because I don't need the money just as much as everyone else. And you follow the money, like I said, like that's where the money is. People are gonna keep making it.
Right.
But that's why I don't watch it. It's just because I feel like, especially knowing like how people sort of orchestrate the situations and make people look bad for ratings. You know, like I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Alright, nah, I feel you. I mess with it. I really like I don't know, I really like the Black Ink joints. Love and Hip Hop's after No Funny.
Have you been to Black Ink? It's on 125th, right?
Yeah, I haven't been there. Yeah, they moved it to 125th. I haven't been there though.
I stopped by once.
Oh, word, it was alright.
No, it was ratchet.
Word, yo,
No,
shout out
I'm
to
just kidding.
yo, shout out to Black Ink. Though. I mess with the show though. I ain't gonna hold you. I mess with the
kidding.
show, but the like Love and Hip Hop though, like nah. After like the first two
I love
seasons,
Cardi B so much.
Yeah, but that's because she's being herself, and it's
And
just
that's
you
what
can
I'm
tell
saying,
it's authentic. But everybody else, like how the way they got now, you know, it's like you said, orchestrated when they got slow motion, them driving or walking and all that. It's like,
Oh
yo,
yeah, I
come
mean
on,
B-roll
son.
cutaways. Obviously, like they do a lot of planning. It's not like an on-the-fly
Yeah,
kind of thing. I think people kind of think that it's like a crazy hectic thing, and people they're planning for this and they know what
right.
they're gonna do. Um, I think that what is interesting, kind of going back to the YouTube conversation, is
Mm-hmm.
at this point, like to be like an artist or like famous, you also have to be like a brand,
Yeah,
and that's what I feel like is like I don't think that I would be very good at.
right,
And why I don't want to be like a YouTube celebrity because it's not necessarily about your content, but it's about you as a person more.
okay,
Because it's just like I just feel like it's how that medium really is, and similar with reality TV, it's like a personal brand that you have
right,
that is you're like representing more than an actual person. You know what I mean?
okay. And with the stuff you working on now or have been working on, like, do you have to travel a lot throughout the city? Like, for instance, like one set of being Brooklyn, one set of being
Mm-hmm.
Long Island. Like, how does that like? Do they give you? I know, obviously, I know they give you a heads up, but it's just like, how does with your time management? How does it
I
work as far?
haven't had anything too rough. I think the farthest I've had to go for a job that started in New York City was like in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I know my boyfriend worked on American Next Top Model, and he had to be there basically when the girls woke up. So his hours were crazy. Like he had to be there. He's out there like 4 a.m. So you kind of do like get these sort of shows where, just because of the timing and the nature of the program, like you really have to be like an early bird, or like you have to be out really late. Like a lot of times you have overnight shoots where you don't get home till 3 a.m. kind of thing. So I guess it's kind of like what's good about like dating someone, I guess, who's also in the field, is that they're kind of like understanding about those kind of things, and like really just if I tell someone I'm away for 2 weeks and I didn't know about it until yesterday, she's gonna
Yeah.
understand,
Okay. That
so
makes sense.
it is a very like variable lifestyle, which but I really like that, which is kind of the reason why I got into this. Like I love traveling,
Yeah.
I love like being on the move, I just really like that kind of lifestyle.
Okay, so that's interesting you say that. So as far as like relationship wise, like I know it's all about, who you interested in, who you love, who you care for and all, all the extra stuff, but being that you said it's easier when you're dating somebody in your field, do you think with people in the art world and all of this like music, all of this type of art things, do you think that's how it should be? I mean, not
I
how it
mean, I
should be,
feel
but you think
like
it's better?
it's just it depends on what you need. Like I feel like at this point in my life, I need someone who understands my lifestyle. Maybe later in my life, I would need someone who has more security than I have. It just kind of depends on where you're at, I think. But definitely, just takes a person who appreciates your work, because a lot of when you're an artist, like you put in you might put in more hours than a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Like when you're painting, for instance, I don't know how long it takes people to paint, but I'm assuming like they don't get stop at 5 p.m. every day. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it just takes someone who's definitely more flexible in terms of like your time and when you guys link up. I think at one point I was away for 3 months. I came back. We were together for a week, and then he was away for 3 weeks. So it was basically like 4 or 5 months. We like weren't really like around each other.
Damn.
And it is hard, but like I said, I can imagine how much harder it would be if it wasn't a reciprocal thing. Like if, for
Okay.
instance, I was just away for 3 months, and then I came home and he was here the whole time, and like he'd be just
Yeah.
like, "What the hell?" You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
nah, he cheated on you, but it's all good though.
You're mad petty.
Yeah, he
That's why you
did.
single.
What you call it? Nah, you stupid, man. What you call it? Like, can you give me a on set or anything for us film? It could be even school, but I'd rather have it like where you was on set where it was like real memorable. Like, wow, I'm glad I witnessed this. Like, in a good thing this time, like a good, like most memorable. Like, wow, like this is why I love being here. Like,
One of my best times on set was with my friends. It kind of turned out that someone that I knew from college had also went to the same middle school as me. So when we linked up in college, we actually knew a lot of the same people,
yeah,
and then a lot of the people that we knew from back home ended up being in film. Like one girl I knew that I hung out with in recreation camp in 5th grade was a writer. another girl that I like her. I go over her house in middle school, and she does special effects work. And so we did a music video together. We're still working on it. And the girl that wrote it, her two little sisters were playing. They're twins. They were playing like this like part of like these creepy like demon monsters. And I just remember sitting in the bathroom doing their hair, and I was like the AD, but I just like felt like at the end of the day, like I'm like doing all this stuff, and like it still goes back to me knowing how to braid hair to be useful.
Okay.
And that felt good, and like being with my friends like felt good.
Yeah. So
And it just like it feels good to feel helpful on set.
Right.
So when it can go back to like basic things, you know what I mean, like. Oh, I made dinner for the crew. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I made some pasta dish, and everyone's like, "This is mad good!" Like, and they were loving it. And I was just like, I like love that. Like, even the little things I'm interested in, like how to cook, can still be like totally useful on set, especially when you're with people that you like.
Yeah, you had the cheesy movie moment, like, ooh, yeah, the family's together now.
I mean, it sort of looked like that. Like, I was in his house, and like everyone was now hungry. He was like, "What do we have?" And I just pulled out some pasta, and leftover rotisserie chicken. And I just made that shit, and it was mad good. Everyone really loved it, and I was like, "You're welcome." Like, I just felt good about making them feel good, and I don't know, it just feels better when everyone likes each other and are friends. And
Nah, that's what's up, yo. That's what's up. Like, do you see a difference in, a difference in like how the way a regular, not saying a regular person, but like their thought process to where a person who's a part of the film and all of that, like they think, like, do you see a difference when it's like, yo, like a regular friend, that's they got their own little thing. They not artistic. They don't draw nothing. Do you see a different mindset or like thought process with creativity or imagination?
I don't feel like I don't know about, I would say all of like creativity and imagination, because I feel like people are creative in their own right.
Right.
Not necessarily like artistic, but creative, because they're different. Like you can like problem solve creatively. You can there's plenty of things you can be creative and not be artistic. Right. One thing I love to people who aren't in film. It's like, I feel like it's such an industry that's like weirdly glorified in the way that if you mention to anyone that you do it, you just become like this like, what? Like, it's like you're a magician or something like how do you do it? Like it feels crazy. I was picking up coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, and I had to go back and get more coffee because the crew was too big and everyone was drinking it so fast. And so when I came back, they were like, "Oh, are you working on that? Are you still shooting?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they like were so like excited when I told them that I was working on a set, and like started asking me, "Oh, are we gonna see you in the show?" I'm like, "I'm getting the coffee, so you're obviously not gonna see me on the show." And they like, someone ordered a hot tea and they gave it to me for free, and I'm like, "You're not helping me by giving me a free hot tea because I'm not paying for it, but I guess I'll take it." And it was just kind of like the fanfare of it was so like odd, because on set like I'm like like you're at work, so I feel like it's like weird to be like, to have your work be glorified as something that's like really glamorous, and it's so not that glamorous. It is not that glamorous.
It's crazy you say that, because it's like, yo, son, like people just think, oh, yo, you a part of this, where it's like, nigga, I don't think you understand what I'm going through. Do you think I want to pick up 100 coffees, 100 donuts, right? You feel me? I'm just saying.
Not that I don't want to be doing that, because this is my job, but it's just to think that like people have this idea of it being this sort of like magical thing that kind of just comes together, and maybe sort of like doesn't understand the actual like fact that it's work. Like people are working, and it doesn't just happen because people are there, and there's not just like a bunch of starlets walking around like everyone's, you know what I mean? It's just real people that are working.
That's crazy how you get a whole fan base, and at the position, I know at that time, you know what I'm saying, and you, like you say, you probably do it once in a while still, but just at that moment specifically was like, yo, y'all became like, y'all so interested in me and becoming like low-key fans of me
off of nothing. But then also like I feel like at the end of also on the flip side of that, like I wish I could capitalize on that in a better way, because that's what YouTube is. It's basically like you're like one person, and maybe at one point like a couple thousand people think you're super interesting. And if you capitalize on that and feel like you deserve it, you keep doing what you're doing until it's 10,000 people. Exactly. So I sort of wish I was more confident, so I could just be like, yeah, I am the chick. Take my business card. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you, definitely.
So, but I don't know.
Yeah. So it's good when you making your own, like literally your own show or movie or something. You ain't got.
I don't have anything in the works right now. Honestly, I'm just trying to sort of create a nest egg for myself. Get a lot of more. Gotta get a lot of more. Get a lot of more. Wow. Get more
It's all
work
good.
under
It's
my
all
belt.
good. Get your English right. It's all
Right.
good.
Get a lot of more. Get more work under my belt. I just want to feel like seasoned enough that I
Okay.
can kind of also make the connections I need to make, because I feel like one thing that's different from school versus like just being out in the real world making films is that it really is a collaborative effort, and you can sort of at school feel like you're doing it by yourself, and you really sort of can do it by yourself because kind of you have like all the tools, like, oh, here's a camera for you, can have the camera, you can have this, but in real life, like, you would need someone to come with the camera, like, you can't, people aren't just going to hand you things.
Yeah.
And so I really need to find my people.
Okay.
I think I need to feel comfortable enough spending the time on myself. But I mean, hopefully that's soon.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah. So if somebody came up to you, you know, hit you up on like Facebook or whatever it is, whatever social media joint you know what I'm saying, you promote it or whatever, they hit you up like, hey, like, I know you do this and film and all of that. I have like a script. I have a couple people who can do this. Can you help me out with it? Like, would
Yeah.
you be able to like do that with them, like film
Yeah, of
it for them
course.
and all of this? Get that right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's basically how it works with any job you really get. It's just
Right.
someone calling you and saying, I'm doing this. It's these days. Do you want to be a part of it? It's basically like how any sort of project gets done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and this is something you down to do for the rest of your life? Like, I mean, I know you want to get higher, but
I mean, I don't know if my issue is that,
or should I say, my fault for cutting you off, should I say just being in the film industry,
the
is this
big
something you
thing
can see
that's
yourself?
like twofold about it to me is I do definitely want to make my own content, but I don't feel like I'm enough of a leader yet to be a director, for instance.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of like personal pressure. And obviously, like, if you're working on something you're passionate about, like, that comes through. But it is just a lot more of a sociable like aspect to it, and I guess you just have to like feel comfortable thinking that you know what you're doing, and obviously all that jazz. But I feel like I want to be able to create stuff without the pressure of other people's expectations, which is maybe why like I would do something like a YouTube kind of thing where I could just make things like without having other people's invested interest in it
Okay.
per se. And that's why I kind of want to build my own nest egg so that I don't really have to seek like these outside sources to be able to do what I want to do, because at the end of the day, like, it's just like I said, you follow the money, and so if the money's coming from you, it just gives you like that much more control over the project. I think I might want to do like creative directing, maybe even like commercial stuff.
Ooh,
like I said, I really
yeah.
do like aesthetics, and I did study a lot of advertising. And although like I have like the like altruistic passion of like making a difference through documentary work, what I'm really usually good at is more like producing type of things and like office work and like that kind of thing.
Okay.
Like managerial type administrative stuff. So I feel like that's where I ideally would end up.
Yeah. right.
But obviously that doesn't exclude you from making what you want to make.
Okay.
Also.
Word. Nah. That's what's up. And yeah, so as far as that, you can before we wrap it up and all of that, do you have like any advice for any upcoming people who's in the film or trying to be in the film industry, whether they actors or assistants or anything like that?
I feel like
And also anything, my fault for cutting you off again, but just that could give like a better like point of view, like to help out like the people who are higher, like, yo, what they need to do better as well. Like, you know, that's like, yo, if y'all can do this, y'all could get a better work ethic from these people that's under you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think I've really been on set where the work ethic was the issue. I feel like
okay.
In terms of that, it would just be about hiring for talent rather than for the name.
Yeah.
A lot of people like, oh, this is my cousin, so he's going to be on set, kind of thing.
Okay.
That kind of stuff happens, and that's when I feel like you kind of see the follow through. But honestly, like if you want to be doing the work, then you're going to do the work. Like who's no one's going to volunteer for a 12-hour day if they're not wanting to do it.
Right.
And in terms of like advice, I can only give advice to people that are my age or younger, I would assume. 'Cause I obviously don't have it all figured out, but I would just say,
Nah, you could give advice to everybody. Everybody need it for real, yo. Like I'm telling you, it's gonna be somebody listening who's your age, who's doing the same thing. Like, yo, damn, yo, I'm here, but
I feel like, and this is maybe also like advice for me, is to don't let, especially as an artist, don't let your work not reflect you. Like, don't let your work be separate from you, I guess. So, and also,
explain that.
so I feel like as in a creative person, you're always like striving to make your work be a representation of yourself. Either that's in like your work ethic or in the style or in whatever. And sometimes when you are working for someone else, you obviously have to put that into someone else's work. And so obviously like there's a balance between like work and passion. And like just maybe it's like another terms like just don't be afraid to go after your passion projects.
Okay.
You know, just to make the time to do what you want to be doing, so that like you're not resentful in the end when like 20 years down the line all you've done is work for other people and you don't have anything to show for yourself, you know.
Okay.
I just feel like don't be afraid to like make your own stuff.
All right.
And don't let like lack of resources be a stop. I feel like that's one of the biggest key issues in film, is that this just does require so many resources. But if you have like a crappy camera, like if your story is good, make it anyway, you know.
Okay.
And always just be like constantly making. That's just how you get better.
Right. Word. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was a couple words from, Kandaci and all of that. So that was the second episode of the PootieTim show. And stay tuned, and I'll be able to come up with something else next week for y'all. Alright? So I'll holla at y'all later.
Bye.